Confession time. We eat entirely too much cheese in our house, and I know I can't be the only one who walks down the aisle of Aldi or Trader Joe's and spots a couple new cheeses that we want to try each week. Today we're going to put those cheeses to use and make a mini cheese board, which is perfect because it's individually sized and you don't have to share it with anybody. This cheese board would be perfect for an upscale dinner party, a get together with friends, holidays, or even just by yourself on a Friday night in. I'm going to be showing you how to make these mini cheese boards along with some tips and tricks I have for making the perfect platters and boards for your party. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new around here, my name is Jessica, and this channel is all about all things food. I hope that you will leave inspired to get in the kitchen and create your own recipes, and most importantly, have fun putting together a holiday menu. Now, if you love making cheese boards or platters, make sure before we start that you grab the link in the description box below. You can sign up for my email list and you will receive a list of over 100 plus ideas of fun food items to include on your next board or platter. I love this because it forces me to get creative in the kitchen and mix together different cheese board combos that may be unique and that you haven't heard of before. So let's dive into making these mini cheese boards. First things first, we have to pick out what kind of plate or board or platter we want to serve everything on. So I'll link a few of my favorites below. Really what we're looking for here is something that's about 5 to 8 inches wide. We want it to stay pretty small, that way all of our portions are going to be for just one person. You can either use a plate, a board. If you have like a small wooden platter, that would work perfect as well. If you're hosting a dinner party or a holiday get together, these mini cheese boards would be so cute, set out on your table along with your table decor and table settings, so you might consider even getting a board or platter that matches that. Now, because these cheese boards are meant to serve one person, we want to take serving sizes into consideration. I generally portion about 1 to 2 ounces of cheese per person per plate. Now, I like to have a variety of cheeses, so for this cheese board, we're going to have 3 different types of cheese. Feel free to mix it up to do what you would prefer. If you have a food scale, that can be helpful in portioning out the sizes. If not, you can always eyeball it. Just think about giving everybody a little sample or a little nibble of each different piece that you put onto your cheese board. Now, before we get into the fun part of placing everything on our board and designing how we want them to look, I suggest first prepping everything that you need so that way it's ready and they're easy to assemble. So first up, we're gonna make some sugared cranberries. Now, this process isn't hard if you've never done it before. What we're gonna do is first make a simple syrup, so it's 1 part sugar to 1 part water, and we're gonna let that come together so the sugar is dissolved in the water. From there, we coat our cranberries and let them dry on a wire rack for about 20 to 30 minutes until they're tacky but not sticky. Once they're ready to go, we'll roll them in some sugar and allow them to dry for another few minutes while we prep our other ingredients. This is going to be one piece of our board that I think will really add a special holiday touch to it. Now, next up, we're gonna bake some brie. I found these really cute mini brie rounds at Trader Joe, and they're just little mini bite-sized brie. If you can find these, I highly recommend it. If not, you can always buy a big piece of brie and cut it into smaller bite-sized pieces. Now, for the Brie cheese, we're gonna go ahead and make a crosshatch section on the top of the rind. From here, we'll drizzle a little bit of honey and sprinkle some dried thyme on top, and then we're gonna pop them into a 350-degree oven for about 5 minutes until they're nice and melty inside. And then we'll set those to the side and prep a few other ingredients. Now, when you get ready to prepare your cheese, we're gonna sit down and think for a second about how we wanna slice it. I know this sounds kind of weird, but how you slice your cheese can really add to the visual appeal of your board. It allows for a variety of textures and patterns within your board or platter. So let's take a minute to walk through a few different types of cuts that you can do to your different cheeses. First up, we have the wedge. Now, this can work for hard to semi-hard cheese as well as soft to semi-soft cheese. You can just cut the wedge in any way, shape, or form that you like so it resembles a little individual portion. If you're working with semi-soft cheese, make sure to use the right knife. It's going to be the knife that has the little holes in between it. It's called an open work blade, and this will make sure that your cheese does not stick to the knife and comes out looking nice and pretty. Another classic cut is the block or the brick, and this works best for cheeses that already come in the block form. So think cheddar or Gruyere. If your cheese has a rind, be sure to slice one side so it has a little bit of the rind on it. This will just add a little bit more to your presentation. Up next we have our classic log cheese, and this works best when you slice the cheese or even sausage into a little mini coin shape. If you have a cheese that's extra crumbly like blue cheese, feta cheese, or even a hard cheddar, you can take advantage of that and crumble it so it adds a nice little variety and texture to your board. Make sure if you do this that you wait until right before you're serving the board to ensure that your cheese doesn't dry out. And the last way to cut or play around with your cheese is to leave it in a wheel form. So this works best for Camembert or Brie cheese. So with this method, you can play around with cutting off all of the rind or parts of the rind to kind of make a design or make it look fun. For my mini cheese boards, I actually ended up, like I mentioned earlier, buying mini Brie cheese. I will link these below so you can see if you can find them at Trader Joe's. I actually scored the last ones that were in my store, so I was super happy about that. And these work really well because, like I said, they're bite-sized and you get the full effect of the wheel cheese on your board. So now that we've talked through that, play around with whatever cheese you decide to buy for your board. There are lots of different options and lots of different styles, so play around so your board can reflect you and your personality. We're also going to add a little spin of creativity to our sausage. So for today, we're going to make little sausage rosebuds, and to do that, it's quite simple. You'll need some dry salami that's cut really thin, and you'll place 4 slices down. Make sure that they're overlapping each other a little bit. And then you'll fold them over on top of each other and start rolling them up slowly and fairly tightly. And then of course you'll need a toothpick to secure the ends. And for this one, I like to make 2 rose flowers, so that way it gives enough sausage for each person and it looks pretty in our board. And now we finally reached the point where we get to put our entire board together. So go ahead, have fun with this part. This is the creative part, and you get to put any different combos and colors together. I like to keep colors spread out, so if I have one red piece on the plate, I like to put them opposite ends of each other, but feel free to do whatever your heart desires. Now, while I'm putting my board together and showing you how I did mine, I want to give you a reminder that if you need some inspiration, I have tons of cheese board and charcuterie board posts on my blog, so I'll link a few of my favorites below, including my Greek appetizer platter, my patriotic summer board, and I have lots of fall boards for inspiration as well. Now, sometimes when you serve these boards, people kind of get overwhelmed of what to put together, what combinations of the cheese board will taste good together. So I want to talk to you about my favorite combinations of items to pair together on your cheese board. So when you're eating, there are some different combinations that taste good together. Of course, really you can do anything you want. These are just my favorites. So you can do sweet on sweet if you are pairing the honey Brie cheese with a cranberry. That would taste delicious. You can also do sweet and salty, so the salty cheese with a sweet cranberry. Or you could do salty and briny, so a cracker, maybe a piece of cheese, and a cornichon. And finally, I like creamy and salty, so a nice piece of cheese with a little piece of sausage would be perfect. If you want to make your board ahead of time for a party or for a get-together, that works perfect. Hold off on putting the crackers on your board as they will tend to get stale if they're on there too long. And make sure to cover your board with some plastic wrap or reusable wrap before it goes in the fridge. Cheese is best eaten at room temperature, so about 30 minutes before your guests arrive, be sure to pull out your boards and allow the cheese to come to room temperature. And then of course you can add your crackers and you will be ready to go. I hope you enjoyed this video. These mini cheese boards are super fun and elegant, and you don't have to worry about the fuss of putting a huge board or platter together. And of course you don't have to share, and nobody shares each other's germs, so it's always a win in my book to make these. If you love making charcuterie boards and appetizer platters, be sure to check out the other videos on my channel. I have lots of other videos sharing tips and tricks on making different kinds of boards and platters, so be sure to check those out. And as always, everything we talked about in this video today will be linked in the blog post, which I'll throw below, and it'll have my exact recipe and ingredients for the cheese board that we made in the video. Don't forget to subscribe. I put out weekly videos showing you how to become a better home chef and hone your skills in the kitchen. Until next time!